Don't you just love when skill design has no actual restrictions to where we can make toxic abominations such as what we have here? Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bro here, and well, I mentioned a while back that Revolution de Fleur, aside from one specific thing that's really easy to do, has no actual skill restrictions whatsoever on what we can play. Furthermore, Konami made the abysmal mistake of taking Invoked Mechaba off the ban list. And the result is what you see here. Invoked de Fleur. Let's just get right to it with the skill of choice, Revolution de Fleur. So, you can use the skill's first, second, and third effects once per duel if your deck, excluding the extra deck, contains 6 or more spellcaster monsters with exactly 2900 attack points, which is really easy to do. So, activating at the start of your first turn, during this duel you can normal summon or set dark spellcaster monsters with 2900 attack points exactly without tributing. If this skill was activated on the second turn, also play Necro Fleur from outside of your deck in face down defense position. Its battle position can be changed. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Sorcier de Fleur straight from your deck. So, second effect, shuffle one card from your hand into the deck, and then play Necro Synchron from your deck. Then you can decrease the level of one monster in your field by 1 or 2. Third and final effect, send a monster from your field to the graveyard, then play one Sorcier de Fleur from your deck, and based on defense position, the battle position can be changed. We no longer have the unrespondable Trishula Zero, but this is still really freaking good. So, starting things off, we got triple Sage de Fleur. You can target one monster you control and one card in the field. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, destroy both of those cards. If this card is sent from the field to your graveyard, you can target one other monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. Then you can add a level 1 plant-type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Each effect of Sage de Fleur is once per turn. Next up, the normal summon himself, Alistair the Invoker. During the player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and target one fusion monster you control. It gains 1000 attack and defense points until the end of this turn. If this card is normal summoned or flipped face up, you can add one invocation from your deck to your hand. We all know the horrors of this thing. Anyone who's played the TCG knows just how toxic this thing used to be. And it's toxic again here now for the same reasons. Double effect failure, we do still need hand traps. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and target one face-up effect monster your opponent controls, and that face-up monster your opponent controls has its effects negated until the end of this turn. This is a quick effect. The glow-up bulb is next. If this card is in the graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. This effect is once per duel, so make it count. Triple Noble Knight Shield Bearer, because we are still running some of Sherry's actual cards. If this card is normal special summon, you can banish a light monster from your graveyard, draw one card, which is really good if you pitched Effect Failure as a hand trap earlier. You can banish this card from your hand or field, add a level 6 or lower wind beast type monster from your deck to your hand, one effect per turn, only once that turn. Double Necro Synchron, do not ever draw both of these. I've opened with it, I have top decked the second one going second, and it blows when that happens. Which is why we play 30 cards. And we still get double Necro Synchron from time to time. Anyway, this card's name becomes Fleur Synchron while on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Necro Synchron once per turn. You can target one of the face-up monsters you control and increase its level by 2 until the end of this turn. Or, if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a wind monster, you can special summon a level 1 plant-type monster from your deck. It's not a one effect per turn, only once that turn, but either way, both effects are just good to have. Triple Sorcier de Fleur. If this card is normally special summoned, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but it can't attack directly, and it is destroyed during the end phase of this turn, regardless of whether you have destruction protection or not. So Dingirsu cannot protect the monster you take from being destroyed. I have learned that the hard way. And this effect is once per turn, and a force to activate. Triple White Steed of the Floral Knights. We need to see White Steed as often as we can. If you control a level 2 or lower monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can only special summon White Steed of the Floral Knights once per turn this way. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target one card you control. Negate the attack. If you do, destroy that targeted card. This effect of White Steed is once per turn. That's it for monsters, on to spells, and traps as well. Double Forbidden Droplets, send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard and choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, their attack is halved, also their effects are negated. in response to this card's activation. Your opponent cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original type, monster, spell, or trap respectively as the cards you sent to the graveyard to activate this card. 1 forbidden droplet activation per turn. Next up we have Invocation. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand as fusion materials. If summoning an invoked fusion monster this way, you can also banish monsters from your field and or either player's graveyards as fusion materials. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one of your banished Alistair the Invoker, shuffle this card into the deck, and if you do, add that card to your hand. This effect is once per turn. Yeah, Invocation's kinda broken. Just saying. Double Forbidden Lance. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target loses 800 attack points, but it's unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. Double Cosmic Cyclone as well, the classic. Pay 1,000, target spell trap on the field, and banish it. And now on the traps, we've got double Ice Dragon's Prison. The single most cancerous of the limited 3 traps. And time to explain why. Target 1 monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon it to your field, but its effects are negated. Then, you can banish 1 monster from both players' fields that have the same type as each other. 1 Ice Dragon's Prison activation per turn. Because of this, we don't play 3, but because this card is so busted, we need to see this as a defensive measure or a cheesing measure just to like cheese out games where we would otherwise lose as often as we can. This is obnoxious into Salamangreat. This is obnoxious into Dragonic Theos. This hard takes down Lyrilisk the second they get Nightingale onto the field, because then you just punish them for it. And of course, to make things even more toxic, Crocdown. Activate by targeting 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. While you control that monster, it cannot attack nor activate effects. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So yes, we are playing this as toxic as possible with our limited 3 slots. The only thing that's slightly close to being as toxic as these is Book of Eclipse. Put it to you that way. On to the extra deck. What were they thinking? Invoked Mechaba. If you know how broken this has been in the TCG for years and only fell off because of power creep, then you know. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell card, trap card, or monster effect is activated, you can send the same type of card, monster, spell, or trap, respectively, from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. Yeah, Invoked is basically I sit on Mechaba, I win. We also do, however, have Invoked Kaliga. If a player's monster effect attempts to activate, none of that player's monsters can activate their effects for the rest of this turn while this card is face up on the field, and each player can attack with only 1 monster during each battle phase. I put this in here strictly to shut down Salamangreat, the now uncontested best deck in the format that is potentially even tier 0. Here's the thing. Every time I have seen Salamangreat to this day, and I've gone first, I have either not seen the Alistair at all, or when I do see it, it gets hand trapped by effect failure. Pain. Anyway, on to Synchros with Trishula, Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier. When this card is Synchro summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls. If this Synchro summoned card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier from your extra deck or graveyard. Its attack becomes 3,300, then have the attack of any face-up monsters your opponent currently controls also negate their effects. It's basically a forbidden droplet and a float at the same time, now that I think about it. And this effect is once per turn, but we only have 1 Trishula anyway, it's a bundle card. Speaking of bundle cards, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn during the player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can negate the activation if you do destroy that monster, and if you do that, this card gains attack points equal to that destroyed monster's original attack points until the end of this turn. And more importantly, as always, if this card battles a level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls during damage calculation, this card gains attack points equal to the current attack points of the opponent's monster it is battling during that damage calculation only, not once per turn. Read this effect, people. Now, as for our other level 8 win synchro, we have Cyber Slash Harpy Lady. The only other one that would work for this combo, the big one we have, is Stardust Dragon, at least among the meaningful ones. And I'd much rather play Cyber Slash in this case, purely to be more ready for Salamangreat. Yes, the matchup is that over centralizing. Anyway, for this card's Synchro Summon, you can treat one Harpy monster you control as a tuner. This card's name becomes Harpy Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. When a spell card, trap card, or effect of one of those two is activated except during the damage step, quick effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls or one Harpy monster you control and return it to the hand. This effect is once per turn. So, this punishes Burning Shell, this punishes Salamangreat Sanctuary, this punishes a lot of common stuff from Salamangreat. And it also does kind of help screw over maybe like a Sunrise staying on the field or anything like that, or you pop like a back row and you've used your Crystal Wing negate and they go for Rainbow Neos, you can just bounce the Rainbow Neos. It's all good stuff, really. Double Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn during the player's turn, when another level 5 or higher monster activates its effect on the field, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster. Once per turn during the player's turn, when a monster effect is activated that targets exactly one level 5 or higher monster on the field and no other cards, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster. If either of this card's effects destroys a monster, this card gains attack points equal to the destroy monster's original attack points until the end of this turn. Why do we have 2 in here? One reason. In case we have full combo, but Alistar gets hit with effect failure. This way, we at the very least have something rather than nothing. It just here is like a filler slot, technically, but Double Clear Wing is a just-in-case measure, and Clear Wing is still really good. As for our 1 Xyz, we have the Girsu, the Orchestra, the Evening Star. You can only special summon the Girsu once per turn. You can also Xyz summon this card by using an Orchestra Link monster you control as an overlay unit. If a card or cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach an overlay unit from this card instead. If this card is special summon, you can activate one of these effects. Either send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is the only thing we're doing here, or attach one of your banished machine-type monsters to this card as an overlay unit. Simple and straight to the point. And for our 1 link, Artemis the Magistus Moon Maiden. If another Magistus monster or monster is normal summoned or special summoned while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters, equip this card you control to it. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can add a Magistus monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Artemis Magistus Moon Maiden once per turn, and you can only special summon Artemis once per turn. We're only bringing this out so it can be sent to the graveyard to play Sorcier, and for this to be our light monster for Mechaba. That's it. The only other card I want to talk about is a field spell that I do not have because it is Selection Box exclusive. Where is... Here we are, Magical Meltdown. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Alistar the Invoker from your deck to your hand. The activation of your cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's cards cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned, nor can their effects activate either. You can only activate 1 Magical Meltdown per turn. So, yeah, if you have one of these, I would honestly suggest taking out the Crackdown, because you want to see Alistar as often as you can. You also need to see White Steed as often as you can. So, cutting a White Steed would be detrimental. And honestly, Ice Dragon's Prison is just way too good. That card is just busted. Plus, we expect Effect Veiler to get limited 3 at some point anyway, so we'd be cutting the Crackdown regardless. We'd be going down to 1 Veiler, and at that point, we'd just play Magical Meltdowns in their place. Either way, on to the replays. So, let's start this off with this absolute ridiculousness, whatever this ended up being. So, I do end up with full combo here. All you need is Alistar and either Shield Bearer or White Steed. Either one works, because either way, Shield Bearer is going to be pitched to search White Steed. So we're going to normal summon Alistar, as the meme goes. Search your invocation, link off into Artemis, and then activate the second effect you can activate of the skill. Because we want to get Sorcier onto the field first. I'm just going to search White Steed at this point. Set the IDP. Invocation. That gets us our Invoked Mechaba. You want this in the extra monster zone. And for that reason, if you don't get Alistar but you have other stuff, always, unless you are pushing for game or you have no choice, make sure that stuff is in the main monster zone so Alistar can be used to link off into Artemis. Either way, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to flip Sorcerer face up, then skill activate, have Necrosynchron come onto the field, and make Sorcerer level 6, allowing us to Synchro Summon Cyber/Harpy Lady. Activate Necrosynchron, get the glow up bulb, and this is where we special summon the White Steed. Use these two to Synchro into Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, also Invocation affecting the graveyard, always remember to activate that. Glow up bulb activates, and we just go into Crystal Wing. So we have Mechaba, Cyber Slash, and Crystal Wing all in one turn, plus potential back row. Or, if we choose to hold the back row, like a Droplet, a Lance, whatever, we can have Mechaba serve as a spell on negate, or a trap negate if we pitch IDP/Crackdown instead. Usually it's spell because, you know, Dark Hole. Freaking Dark Hole. Just Dark Hole. That thing is everywhere now, and it's being abused by a good number of the best decks in the format that don't even freaking need it. See, for example, Salamangreat, because of Balinks, which the skill gives them for free. Now check this out. I go to Crystal Wing, stop that. He droplets, pitches basically everything in determination to stop me. IDP. Cyber Slash activates because a trap just activated. He goes to Dairy Crane activate, but that gives me a chance to Alistar pitch for Mechaba cost. Have you ever seen a Chain Link 7 before? I purely put that as a bonus replay for that Chain Link 7. That was ridiculous. I don't even know what happened there, but we take those. So, I mentioned before Mechaba off the list was a huge mistake, Konami. You made another massive mistake in taking Mech Knight Purple Nightfall off the list.
I activate my skill.
You're about to see why. Remember why Mech Knights had to get absolutely slaughtered by the ban list?
Never doubt me, Let's go. Duel.
Does anyone here remember?
My turn. Come out.
Because you're about to remember.
I summon a monster.
Hi, Ibly! And you know what that means!
Appear! I activate my monster from my hand. Come out! I activate my monster's effect.
We are now under Ibly lock. Mech Knight Ibly is back, and to make matters worse, they can even use freaking Alistar and add Mechaba on top of all of this. So even if they don't get the Ibly floodgate, they have Mechaba too.
Come out! Create the ultimate circuit. I activate my monster's effect.
This is the truest definition of absolute cancer.
Come out! I end my turn.
It's my turn. Victory.
But, Sodge off the top. That's actually going to be what saves me here.
I activate Sauce de Fleur's effect. Sauce de Fleur. Metro Fleur activates when it's Sorcière de Fleur. What's this?
And so we link off into the Girsu.
I activate my monster.
Secret.
Think so.
How about get that out of here?
I activate a quick hit.
I activate a continuous track.
Like, actually get that out of here, please.
Victory.
I lose.
And here's how this goes.
I hope
Make
you'll never
Necrosynchron level 1, special summon White Steed, Clear Wing, get the bulb, Crystal Wing, Tribute Sodge for the second White Steed, Global Effect, get Clear Wing out. So we have the Girsu, Crystal Wing, Clear Wing. Ain't no way he was surviving that, even with the Kiteroid, which I doubt he even had. We got through the Ibli floodgate. Let's go. Now on to the climb proper. So about 7 to 9 attempts later, a little bit longer than my previous pure Fleur attempt ages ago, which would have been on the first attempt if I had made Chevalier, but what can you do? Hindsight's 2020. So, this is full combo, but I go freaking second. And to make matters worse,
You will not stop me from
this is basically Gungan Turbo. What do I mean by Turbo? You're about to see. This was weird.
monster's effect. Come here. Alright. I activate my monster's effect. Come here.
So, lead with Utopia for reasons I'll never know.
I activate a continuous spell. I activate my monster's effect. Up here.
And then I learned very quickly why he led with
Come
Utopia.
here.
Check this out.
Build the overlay network. I activate
So,
my
Uni
monster's
draw
effect.
off the top, gets Exceeds change tactics.
Come here.
Here we go.
Build the overlay network.
Utopia Ray, pay the life points, draw.
Time.
Shining number 39, Utopia the Lightning, pay the life points, draw.
Alright. I build the overlay
Gaia Dragon, and Exceeds gift. Basically, Pot of Greed.
from my hand. I activate from my hand. I activate us from my hand. I activate a spell card. Now is your time.
So, discard Alistair for Quick Draw Synchron. Discard freaking Shari for a second Quick Draw Synchron for reasons I will never understand.
I build the overlay.
Sidra Nova, and you know what that means. Here comes Infinity.
See summon a monster from my hand.
And Invocation on top of that.
Alright. Fusion summon.
Whatever this was insane, but also, this was a huge mistake.
I activate my monster's effect. I am ending
It's
my
my
turn.
turn.
Cool story, bro.
Victory is what I go. I activate Soul de Fleur's effect.
Force the Mecha Banish Negate.
Activate my monster's effect.
Noble Knight Shield Bearer activates its effect.
He lets that go through, which is fine.
Welcome to my... Here comes White Steed of the Fleur. Show yourself.
Clearwing, and then I misplay super hard for no reason whatsoever.
I activate my monster's effect.
Will not help you. I activate my monster's
I don't know
effect.
why I did that,
I'm
but what can you do?
Show yourself. I synchro summon a monster.
So I'm stuck with just Crystal
Activate my Show yourself.
and the Sorcier that's about to come out.
Sophia! Battle is over.
Force the Lost Wind, which is still annoying. He pitches the Alistair to get more damage on me for no reason whatsoever. I don't understand why he did that.
It is my
I
turn.
have a strategy that will counter
From my
yours.
hand.
Magical Mallets on me, and he can't run over Sorcier. And even if he
A
tried,
few turns was all it took to get to know one another. Your cards told me who you really are.
basically, even if he could, he'd have had to give up Alistair or, you know, get out Invoked Rage-In or something. I don't know what he would have done there, but even if he did have everything he needed, basically, I had IDP, so I was covered anyway.
Since you have two-faced,
And so, trains.
Okay, from my hand, I activate a spell card. I activate my field spell. I send a card to the graveyard to use Revolving Switchyard.
And this guy clearly does not know how to train. He's off the rails and needs more training. Thank you and good night.
Express bullet trains. Speed up. Make way for the train that'll chug on in.
Gustav Max, hey look, who cares?
Stop maxing at the auto, bring it
Oh hey, you're gaining 2,500 life points, who cares?
I activate
It's my turn.
Bring it
This is
on.
where
Evolution de Fleur.
I go from my hand.
Barrage Blast. Hey, cool. Who cares?
Necros now up.
Give me your Super Express Bullet Train. Because all I have to do now is send a monster back.
Show yourself. I exceed so many monsters.
Turn your Bullet Train into a level 8. And that gives me the materials for Gear soon.
I activate my monsters.
Bye.
So step.
Almost Massage. Skill Activate. Get the Sorcier.
I'm setting a battle. Get ready.
And GG. All those life points, and they didn't even matter.
A few.
You should have brought a bigger cannon. Because insert Helsing Ultimate Abridged meme here. If you know, you know. And so, I feel bad for this guy. I genuinely feel bad for this guy because I knew his exact full hand. And even if he didn't brick, it wouldn't have mattered.
You will duel me.
Duel. It's my turn.
So, his full hand was Immortal Phoenix,
I activate a continuous spell.
Sphere Mode,
My turn is
It's
over.
my turn.
and 2 back rows.
This is
I had Saj, I had Cosmic, it literally did not matter. GG. I actually feel bad. And even if he didn't brick, let's say he had like Dark Spell Regeneration and as a set card, and Immortal Phoenix Centigrade for Sphere Mode to activate. That's the time when freaking Trishula Zero would have came out to play. So, basically, he was screwed no matter what here. I genuinely do feel bad. I genuinely do feel bad. Anyway. So, Dragonic Contact, folks, and these last two unfortunately played terribly.
Since you are I'm not duel. It's my welcome. I'm setting.
And so here's what I'm talking about. I got at least a combo, but I didn't get Alistar. You always, in that case, make sure your Crystal Wing and your Cyber Slash are in the main monster zone. We only need one zone for freaking Alistar, after all. And then we have to link it off into Artemis, so it needs to be in the extra monster zone, which means that zone does not want to be occupied at all.
I'll give it my
So, has the Neos.
Let's go. My monster buddies and I have an unbreakable come out. I use
Here comes
summon
Funny
a
Great
monster.
Tornado.
I activate my
And that's all he does.
Go.
So,
My monster-
I IDP, take his Neos, Cyber Slash activates, and now I don't have to banish for IDP to be for a Great Tornado to be off the field. The Saj off the top wasn't even needed because I could have just done the skill effect for Sorcier. And then lastly, the grind game from hell because this guy misplayed so badly.
I'll show you my hero's power.
No, you won't. You'll misplay terribly.
I am here.
Now, I get the full combo once again here, but I'd rather not be going first into this at all to begin with. So, Alistar, Artemis, skill effect 2, get Sorcier on the field, flip face up, send a card back. Search the White Steed, but who cares about that? Cyber Slash, Bulb, White Steed, Clear Wing, Pitch, Crystal Wing, Invocation. Mechaba, and we just do that. Now here, this is an option select.
Oh yeah.
Because Droplet will basically have zero actual benefits it's on the field in this situation, this instead is now a way to deal with Dark Hole, deal with Poly, deal with Miracle Fusion, whatever we choose.
Elemental hero Stratos. Stratos' effect activates.
I let that go through and I don't understand why I did in hindsight, but... Actually, wait, no, I think I was scared of Neos Fusion.
I activate the spell card. Polymers.
Goes Poly, here comes Sunrise.
Summon a monster. My monster's effect activates. I activate the spell card.
Goes Miracle Fusion. I'm gonna bounce the Sunrise.
Elemental heroes that are I fusion summon a monster. Swirl up a great
He goes Great Tornado. I don't care about that. My concern was Neos Fusion.
I set time to battle. Do your thing.
I activate White Steed of the
Both of those monsters were going down anyway, so I used White Steed to at least minimize the damage.
Friends, to overcome my fear and use this card for good. I activate. I'm counting on you, buddy.
He had Neos Fusion! I knew he had it!
Done.
It's my turn. I draw. Show yourself.
That's what I was scared of. I knew he had it.
I activate my monster's effect.
You gotta do better.
And freaking Divine
My
Wrath.
face
Annoying.
down card.
I'm set on it, devil. I activate my monster's effect. I end my turn.
So he left Crystal Wing alive and his Super Poly's just gone.
Monster.
All he had to do
This will be fun. My turn. I
was...
draw. I set a
Oh wait,
card.
no. Even if he Super
That's
Poly'd away the freaking
get
Crystal
ready.
Wing.
I'm attacking
I had
with my
Mechaba.
monster.
He was kind of in checkmate from the Neos Fusion there. I knew exactly what was happening.
It's my turn.
So I get what he was going for, but also at the same time, why would you do it that way?
Just what I was waiting for.
End my turn.
You've outmaneuvered me. I
Let's just
draw.
stop that cold.
I set a trap. Get ready. My move. Let's see what surprises you have in store.
I draw.
I end my turn.
On Dragon Thunder.
My turn's done.
Leaving me with life. I draw.
And Sorcerer off the top.
Activate her.
Let's just take Neos.
Now then, for my hand, I activate.
Only the
I
pitch for
activate my
cost.
monster's effect. Sorcier de Fleur attack.
And there we go.
Aw, I lost. But I won't next time. Thanks for the sweet duel.
I am.
The only way he could have survived that turn was a Kiteroid. And by then, he had nothing left to actually stop me from keeping him down. So, Invoked Fleur in King of Games. I hate saying this, but even though this is not the way the skill is intended to be used, this is kind of the toxicity we have to be willing to do in order to combat this abysmal format. Salamangreat looking essentially tier 0 means we have to play Kaliga to make them not be able to flee monster effects so they don't get to do all their stuff. Dragonic Contact is Dragonic Contact and enables, well, people who don't know how to actually play the game correctly. And Predaplants are just obnoxious. If you go first, you're probably losing against Predaplants outright. Because Searchable Drosophilum Hydra they can't respond, you can't respond to. As is, this format is just... It's only getting worse because Invoked Beck Knight Ibly floodgating, Mechaba being off the list is just a huge mistake, and that's what this whole list was, made to prove. Konami screwed up with this ban list. Not only did they really not hit anything correctly at all, minus, Liquid Soldier, that was good, and Foul being on the limit 1 slot means they no longer can lock out back row without giving up Gazelle. Also good. But that's not even nearly enough. The skills are the bigger issue, and they're not even going for that. They're going for the cards. Honestly, I think I've proven why this is a mistake. Because you have Mecha Bug covering another monster negate or a spell negate in case, you know, they can hit you with Dark Hole or Eclipse or anything like that. You have Cyber Slash for bouncing, and you have Crystal Wing being Crystal Wing. The potential for these imports is just too much. I've beaten this point to a pulp over and over again for a reason, but things need to change. Stuff like this is not okay. The format as is in general is just not okay regardless. But if this is what we gotta do for now, I hate to say it, but so be it. But that's it for this particular video. I don't have much else to say without going on to a massive anti-Invoked rant. And I'd rather not subject you guys to that. So until the next video, whatever it might be. Later, guys.